Hey guys, your buddy Horseticuffs here, and today we are doing Shadow Dancer Secret of Shinobi for the Sega Genesis, or the Mega Drive, depending on where you're from. Okay, this is another game that somehow I missed, and it's actually really good. I'm gonna go ahead and set it up for as easy as I can get with a few unlimited lives, and let's roll. This always struck me as one of the more interesting Shinobis because of the dog. I always thought it was a cool feature. I never played any of the Shinobis except for Shinobi 1 back in the arcade back in the day. And it actually, looking back, it has ties to another series that I read about and that I used to play in the arcade as well. And it's funny because it helped me to appreciate this better. Because I wasn't playing it the right way, because I wasn't thinking about it the right way. And that other game is Rolling Thunder, and which I believe is another Sega joint, made by a lot of the same developers. And when I loaded this up, I wasn't doing so hot because it wasn't the game I was thinking it would be, which was more sword-based, almost like a Ninja Gaiden. But no, if you treat this like a Rolling Thunder, like more of a range-based damage game, and you're avoiding bullets and other ranged attacks, you'll enjoy it a lot more. It's a lot of fun, It's got a cool post-apocalyptic setting, kinda. It's I don't know where it stands in the official Shinobi timeline. I know in Japan, this is the Ninja Joe from the Shinobi series, but in America, it's supposed to be his son. So I don't know if there's some hardcore Shinobi lore writing out there that specifies nowadays and cements it, but I don't know. So in this game, every level except for the boss levels has hostages in it, and you've got to rescue all the hostages and exit the stage within a time limit, which is 3 minutes, I believe. Now, one of the cool features is that you're gonna die. Okay, it's a tough game. It's a tough game, but it's pretty fair and pretty respectful of your time. In that, if you rescue somebody and you die, you respawn at the beginning of the level, but that person is still rescued. So if you rescue 4 out of 5 hostages, they're still gonna be rescued, and you just have to move on. And here we have the first boss, and this game has some pretty cool bosses. This is some kind of robot samurai dude who breathes fire and shit. He's got, all the bosses in this game are fairly predictable, and you just have to whale them in the head, and they glow when you hit them correctly, which is nice, very friendly of them. And you can use one of your ninjutsu magic every stage, So again, that's handy. Once per life, once per stage. And you can beat the whole game. There's a lot of these bonus stages where you jump from the top of a building, and you've got to kill as many ninja as you can on your way down, which is a lot of fun. It's very extreme, very silly, but very cool. It's fun. Wasn't really expecting this, but it's cool. Now, like I said, the dog is a cool feature, and I remember seeing him in ads for the game back in gaming magazines back in the day. And I'll be honest, he's not as helpful as I was hoping, or you would think. He doesn't play that big a part. What you can do, when you charge up your main shuriken attack, you press the button down, and it charges up the dog meter. And he can tackle foes and incapacitate them for a few seconds while you can hit them, and that keeps them from attacking because they're occupied sitting there trying to get your dog off you. It's very finicky, the game, about when the dog can actually do that. A lot of times the dog gets wrecked and turns into a puppy for a few seconds, which is silly, but what the hell, they don't want, surprisingly, people are not big fans of watching cute dogs getting murdered. Funny enough, But, the dog does come in handy. You can't take him into bosses. So he's not the most help in the world, but he's a fun little sidekick, you know. And every time you die and you come back, you can hear dogs barking, or the dog barking, you know. So he serves the job of differentiating this from the other. Yeah, see, I mean, it's like he serves the job very well of differentiating this from other Shinobi games. But he's not what you think he's going to be, the dog. It's not as cool as you would hope. But he's cool looking, you know. I don't really think of dogs when I think of ninja, but it works out. I hear if you wanted to play one Shinobi game, you know, to get a taste for the series, I hear this probably isn't it. But I do intend, you know, a lot of people say that the third one, Revenge of Shinobi, is probably the one you want to try, and that's, you know, the one, I do intend to do that one as well. This one is cool. It's got great backgrounds, some good parallax scrolling, neat bosses. I especially like the one of the bosses, like boss stages coming up here. It's very, very extreme, you know. And that's what this whole game is about. It like came of age in a time when the world was in love with modern day ninja and like kung fu and shit, you know. It's like there were a lot of 80s kung fu movies, martial arts movies, I guess you would say. Some of the a lot of the ninjas in this game, they'll just come right at you and you just kill them and you're done, dude. Some of them are a bit more complex, you know. They're blocking, they're jumping around. This is a hard game, and like I said, I did use unlimited lives, just to respect my time a bit more. But like, if I can power my way through this, so can you. You know, you just gotta learn patterns and take your time. Don't lose patience. They even did some unique stuff at certain stages, like this one. I think it's the only one, but you know, you can jump in and out of the background and foreground, which is cool. Second boss. I don't know the practicality of a monster like this, but he is part of the wall. He's a face and arms and a fucking wall. It seems like a monster that had this ability, like a monster that existed as this, would have very limited utility. You wouldn't have to be too scared of a creature like this. Well, you sure don't in Shadow Dancer, because it took me like seconds to kill him. And now we are jumping off buildings again and shooting ninja, like you do. Like I said, don't think of this as like a Ninja Gaiden game, you know, as far as slashy, jumpy. There's certainly a lot of jumpy, but there's no double jump, you know. There's only jumping like to an upper level or a back level, and there's very little slashy. If enemies, you got one hit point, you know. If you get hit, you're dead. So if enemies get close enough for you to slash them, even though you can, and you can disable shuriken and options if you like, this is a great stage, Statue of Liberty. I would say that unless you're like super good, if you get to the point where the enemies are on top of you and you can slash them, there's a high chance that you're gonna die, you know. It's like, it's a tough game, but it's not too unfair. Just understand, it's more of a Rolling Thunder type experience than a Ninja Gaiden type experience, and you'll be good. Yeah, I still love. I forget what kind of store it was. I think it was like a skate shop or something like that, like a skateboarding shop. Which, man, if you can't think of a skateboarding shop in a strip mall in Florida in like 1992 or 93, that's one of the most friggin' 90s things possible. You know, that's where I was playing Rolling Thunder, which is crazy. I can't believe my town used to have something so niche and like so 90s as a skateboard shop. We call it the Skate Shack is what it's called. When the dog works like expected, it's a pretty cool feature, but you know, the very few frames of animation where it can be used on most enemies, are pretty rare, and more often than not, the dog is not going to work like you want. You've got to be completely on both feet, you know, for it to work. Like I said, I think it's a cool concept that didn't work out like I would have liked. That's all I really have to say about it. But at least this one gives you unlimited shuriken. Beg your pardon, guys. This job is killing me, this new job. I thought I was going to be off today, but here it is, 1:16 in the morning, and I have to be at work in a few hours at 7 a.m. Alright, that's the cool stage. Stage 3, fucking Statue of Liberty is being attacked by ninjas. And how cool and how 90s/80s is that? Very. And there's a freaking helicopter too. Now, when the helicopter comes, if you're standing anywhere on that platform, you're pretty much boned. So what you gotta do, like I said, when the helicopter shows up, you gotta know what side it's coming from and run toward the opposite side and eventually jump off the platform and then back onto the platform. And if you time it right, it won't shoot on the platform where you're at, and you'll be golden. Now, there's like 4 or 5 different, I think there's like 3 or 4 maybe, different types of ninjutsu magic in this game, and you have no agency in selecting which one you use. I know in part 3, the next Shinobi game I'm going to do, Revenge of Shinobi, I think, or Return of Shinobi, I think it's Return. I know that you get to choose your ninjutsu magic, but not in this one. But once a stage seems like enough, I think it's a fair compromise. This is a great boss fight. I'd almost say iconic. This is cool. Right on the Statue of Liberty, you know. And I've seen this boss referred to as Buzzsaw Blade. Or, I'm sorry, Buzzsaw Blade. Which I've got to say, it's a tall-ass woman wearing leather and spandex and buzzsaws. I mean, you know, if you're a woman that is like 11 feet high in the early 90s, there's only so many career paths you can get into. But yeah, if you're patient and you learn the pattern, none of the bosses in this game are too hard. And, you know, heck, this, like I said, this entire playthrough took me like less than half an hour, 27 minutes maybe, and we are halfway through right now. So I mean, it's not a long game. It's a fun, easygoing experience. It's challenging, but you can do this. You'll rise to the occasion. You always have before, son. These are just points, and if you do good enough, you'll get a 1-up. No biggie. Round 4, in the darkness. And of course, you always gotta have some kind of cave stage. I'm not really sure what those guys' point is. I mean, it's like they don't roll. I mean, they spend so much time on the ground rolling in a place like Sonic the Hedgehog. You think they'd either be faster or spend more time rolling around trying to do damage, but that's really not the case. Now, I did try to edit out most of my deaths in this, so I'm sorry for the occasional point where I didn't. And I know in stage 5 there's a, you know, sometimes when you're editing out so much footage and, you know, kind of just trying to make one contiguous experience, smooth playthrough for folks, a few editing snafus appear. So there was a bit of a snafu in part 5 and with the final, or stage 5 and with the final boss, so I'd apologize for that in advance. But you get the general gist of the stage and the boss encounter, you know. He was a toughie. See, again, you see where the dog isn't quite up to the challenge, you know? Maybe it was me, you know, maybe it was a timing issue with old Horseticuffs. I've goofed before. Oh, that was handy. And we're getting there. And this stage is kind of a rough one. I don't think that this was some kind of weird issue with my copy of the game. I think this is where the stage is designed, you know? You know, just kind of watch out for what's in the dark. I think that's pretty good advice for life in general. Just send your dog ahead of you and take care of anything, you know. That's one way to know if something is laying in the dark, is just send the dog out. And don't be afraid to use your one ninja magic or your ninjutsu, you know, when you're about to die or overwhelmed by a bunch of enemies. Like I said, you can use it once per stage for life, and you're not going to run into any kind of weird mini bosses or anything like that. All bosses are on their own stage, and you don't have the dog. So don't be, like I said, don't be shy about using the ninja magic. You're not going to be able to screw yourself over. You like get to a point where you need it, but you don't have it. You're really not. And speaking of bosses, here we are. Now this is some old Book of Revelation shit right here. Flaming wheel with multiple heads on it. That is like literally something out of the Bible. It's crazy. It's a weird place to find this. And I had a hard time with this boss because I'm sitting there like aiming at the heads, and that's not what you're supposed to do. There is the center of the wheel that you're supposed to be shooting. But again, you know, it's just learn the pattern and you'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. You know, most things in this game will kill you in one hit. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Most things in this game will kill you in one hit, but not oddly enough, not direct contact with some things. A lot of times you'll bounce away from it. So don't be too scared and think that it's game over, man. Game over. If you touch something. Yeah, see, and now we're over and done with. Speaking of game over, I learned that today Bill Paxton died. That really sucks. He was great in Predator 2, which I feel might be better than Predator 1. And he was great in Aliens. And here's our, so, you know, kudos to him for a life well lived. I hear he was a good dude. And he was in some great movies, and he was a good actor. Brought a lot of energy to his shit. Complications due to surgery, to my understanding. That sucks. He was very young looking, 61. You know, but while we free fall into the night sky, into the void, and shoot ninjas, I will say that we are all free falling into the void, people. So tell the ones you love that you love them every chance you get. Because you never know when you're going to fucking croak. So, yes, the big bad in this game is Union Lizard. It's a cult. Oh, yes, and this is post-apocalyptic fucking 1997 New York. I don't know what Sega thought was going to fucking happen in the 5 years, whenever, I think this came out in 92, but in the 5 years between 97, you know, 92 and 97, they thought some real shit was going to happen when fucking ninja cults were going to take over. Like a decimated New York City, but that'd be an interesting timeline to read about. The stages are very short. said, it's not disrespectful of your time. I mean, hell, we're almost at the end of the game right now. The final stage, unlike the others, we're at just over 6 minutes left. The final stage, unlike the others, has 5 little rooms in it, whereas the other ones have like 3 stages, 2 battle stages, and a boss stage. This is, like I said, the layout for this is a bit different, but the final boss is definitely a toughie, you know. And the recording of this one is a bit truncated because I goofed, you know, and in some sections of room 5, stage 5 got lost, and then the final boss fight got a bit goofed. So, like I said, apologies. These dudes, I don't know what they're supposed to be, some kind of green ninja. They look more like Power Rangers villains. And for them, because they don't ever block, the dog does come in pretty handy. And look, we're almost done with this stage. Like I said, it's not such a terrible game, and it's pretty respectful of the fact that you got shit to do. Definitely a good time for ninja magic. You got a bunch of rolly, jumpy, fucking slashy ninjas that are blocking everything, you know, so fuck that. You just want to get out as fast as you can. This stage, you can totally, if you're careful, just make it out. And I suggest doing that. Don't give them time. Don't try and die up on this hill, Captain. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it. If you can avoid those dudes, go for it. Croaked. Yeah, like I said, you know, just remember to get the hostages. I don't even know if you can get to the end of the stage without the hostages. You might not even be able to leave. I got all the hostages. You don't have to go hunting too far and too wide for them. You know, they're all pretty much out there. You know, just in your critical path. Okay, we got just over 3 minutes left. And I'm really surprised and delighted that it remembers how many survivors you rescued. You know, it's not like a lot of games of this era to do that. Usually they're always just looking for an excuse to screw you over. Now, it might be because Shadow Dancer, while it was in the arcade, and you might have remembered it there, like, oh yeah, see, okay, we're at the final boss now. So, yeah. But, yeah, he's a samurai on some kind of toilet that he can get up from. If I were this dude, I mean, this is the highest form of hubris. You know, he's sitting there fighting a dude who's here to kill him, and he won't even get up off the fucking can. He's like, I got this, dog. I don't even have to stop pinching one off right now. But, anyways, no, you may have played this in the arcade at some point, but this is, you know, the arcade game is not the same as the Genesis game. And as you see, I screwed up in the editing and came and started recording him at the last hit. But this is beautiful right here. That's like a beautiful scene with a pink sky, you know, the skyline of New York, and it's a cool ending. You know, it's not some grand story, but it's pretty, and you can tell the artwork took some time. Not the most complex stuff, but this isn't the most complex game. This is a fun adventure ride. You know, summer movie style game. You know, it's not a lot of thought went into it. Not a lot of thought is required. You know, enjoy the awesome Sega tunes, or throw on a podcast or like a favorite album or some shit. Just go for it. You know, I was listening to some fucking Biz Markie while I was recording this, and you know, some podcasts here and there. it's a fun little refresher, you know. It's refreshing. It's like a nice salad. I do want to thank you folks for watching and listening. Sorry it's been a few days. It's been kind of a crazy weekend. I am producing content as fast as I can. I got a bunch of videos recorded. I just need to narrate, and when I get a day off, I want to throw something new for my channel for you guys onto the channel. It's a unboxing video of a cool couple things that I picked up and ordered off Amazon. And I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to do up a whole nice cool video when I get a friggin' day off, which is 4 days from now. You know, my days off never count on weekends because I have the kids, so I'm always doing dad stuff. So next weekend, we've got a new episode of Daddy-Daughter Neon coming up. I do another stage of Double Dragon Neon of Emily. I've got the special video coming up on Thursday, which I'm going to get out to you guys. And some other game videos coming out as well. So thank you very much. Like, follow, subscribe. I appreciate all your views, even the ones that are only a few seconds long. Thank you guys, and please tell somebody about these great games. Buddy Horseticuffs signing off.